Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back from the ad break. You are still watching Prime Life. Now, we are honored to be joined by Ameerah Nazir Ganget, co-founder and secretary of Islamic Sports Association. And we will also be joined by Dr. Husnaa Ahmed, who is the health lead and deputy chair of Islamic Sports Association with us today to talk about the inspiring Sunnah Sports Bootcamp that is coming up. And it is dedicated to empowering Muslim women to embrace a healthier, more vibrant lifestyle rooted in Islamic tradition and faith. I want to hear all about it in terms of the dates, all things that have to do with the boot camp itself and the sunnah behind it. I think this is a very interesting topic we're about to have. Assalamu alaikum, jazakallah so much, and welcome to Prime Live.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakallah for having us.
Jazakallah so much. So now, Ameerah, can you please start by telling us what sparked the idea of combining physical fitness with Islamic principle in the sports boot camp?
Okay, so basically, as Erasmus Sports Association, we tend to focus on sports and focusing around the Sunnah sports. So what sparked the idea was the fact that with regards to the women, we are always so busy. We have so much things that we are doing. We don't have time for a lot of physical activities. So what we thought was to take out some time on a Sunday, maybe once a month, and have a ladies meet up where women can meet up and speak about the challenges, more like create a sistership. But within that, we wanted to make it something that was worthwhile. So we added in the sunnahs because a lot of those things are things that we know, but we don't tend to practice on them much. Or it's also things that we tend to overlook because of our busy schedule and things like that. So what we tried to do was to put together the physical sunnah sports together with like the sunnahs, daily sunnahs of eating and just like how to live your life basically. So that is what sparked the idea, and inshallah, that is what we intend to do this Saturday.
That is such an inspirational start. Now, Hosna, can you please explain the concept of sunnah and how it relates to physical health and wellness, and especially for women?
Okay, so the sunnah is the lifestyle and the practical the practicality behind Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam's practices. So essentially, we know that is as a medical professional, I can say that the sunnah is in great alignment with modern medical practices and principles. And so it is a beautiful representation of how we align modern lifestyle together with the sunnah, and it's not so far apart. So to give an example of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he would use walking as a daily lifestyle habit, okay? And he would use that as a form of promoting cardiovascular health, improving mood by means of releasing endorphins. So those are the basic principles of what walking does. And the Sunnah principles actually speak to nutrition, movement, emotional resilience, as well as rest. And this is what it speaks to. So, if, for example, even the eating practices, as um, uh, as curated by our beloved Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, in terms of how his mannerisms were, in terms of portion control, how we're regulating our appetite and how it relates to our gut health, and the anti-inflammatory aspects from the sunnah foods itself. And furthermore, how does this relate to us women? Women are not just objects of vanity. We need to take self-care as an aspect of ibadah, and this is then deeply rooted in terms of wisdom and balance in our lifestyle, and this involves a holistic and healthy well-being for us.
And Ameerah, can you tell us how you think the Sunnah Sports Bootcamp will help to create a sense of sisterhood and support amongst the Muslim women in the community?
Well, I think we can all agree that as women, whether we are sisters, mothers, daughters, we all have certain roles that we play in society, and we also carry a lot of, like various kind of, what should I say, like different kind of
We play various roles as women in
Yes, sorry.
society, and
So
despite the different socioeconomic backgrounds, we all deal with the same things on a daily basis, you know.
Yeah, so basically, sorry, Maaf, about that. I just had like a brain freeze. So basically, because of the fact that we carry so much of roles in our lives, for us to be able to support one another, just as how Husna basically supported me through this brain freeze, we can be there for one another, speak to each other, and also create that sense of sistership, understanding, discuss all the various kind of difficulties that we face as women, and all of those kind of things, together with how we can also balance our lives and then put in these practices where we can move forward and do it in a better way.
That is very, very nice. Now, Hosna, for, in terms of the health benefits that are associated with the Sunnah diet, how can participants apply these principles to their daily lives beyond the boot camp?
Okay, so the Sunnah lifestyle and the Sunnah diet essentially is anti-inflammatory and gut-friendly in nature. And to speak to the various aspects of the various Sunnah foods, dates and vinegar, olive oil, honey, just to name a few. So dates, as we know, is high in fiber and in potassium, which supports our gut health as well as our cardiovascular health system. Vinegar and olive oil we actually use in blood sugar management. And there's a hadith which I will paraphrase, that a home without dates and vinegar is free from poverty. And that's a hadith by Tirmidhi. So that really speaks to the prophetic benefits, the spiritual benefits, and the health benefits. Furthermore, honey is an antimicrobial substance, and as well as all of these various sunnah foods that I've just touched on and highlighted. Furthermore, in terms of the sunnah eating principles, as we know, that we should mirror that. And from a gut health point of view, there is studies that prove that portion control then regulates our appetite in eating and promotes good gut health, which is linked to our immunity and our immune system, and therefore our holistic and general health. Um, Also, in terms of like vinegar and olive oil, it helps in terms of our insulin sensitivity as well, which relates to the blood sugar level. So that's the medical benefits of the sunnah foods and the sunnah eating principles. Furthermore, our beloved Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam advocated for a third of breath, a third of food, and a third of water. And we should eat first or consume water first and thereafter eat your food. So the chewing aspect, the medical benefits and the enzymes that are released just from proper chewing and integrating that, is the principles that we're going to impart to our participants. We're going to show them how, to choose various whole foods which are important in your various nutritional benefits, what fiber plays a role, what protein plays a role, what a carbohydrate plays a role, and incorporating in that aspects, and how they will integrate as a holistic lifestyle benefit. And these are relatively inexpensive pantry staples that we have. And it is not difficult to implement it into our lifestyles. So this is not a diet modification, it's a lifestyle modification. And this will speak to everyone's holistic well-being from a healthcare perspective and from an emotional, spiritual, and physical perspective, inshallah.
Inshallah. Now, in terms of Ameerah, in terms of the Islamic traditions that you're going to be incorporating, or any activities that will be incorporated into, the boot camp, can you maybe tell us a little bit more about them, on how you plan on making this boot camp, spiritually enriching?
So basically, we'll start off with a scenic walk, which is we'll touch on how the walk full it goes according to the sunnah, and what is the sunnahs of walking, and how it is that how we're supposed to be walking in our daily lives as well, and how we can make it in as a means of ibadah. But at the same time, the walking will also be a scenic walk. So there'll be lots of different things that you can that will be where we can also encourage people to become more present within their lives, look around you, and not just pass by things fast, because that's our lives today. It's very fast paced. So to bring everything back into the moment, appreciate where you are, appreciate the nature, appreciate the beauty of the nature, and by doing that also appreciating the one who has created it, and the beauty of the one who has created it. And then after the walk, we'll also be doing, it's either walk or run. It depends on the specific person as how they would like to go through the trail. And then we would have a dietitian that will be coming out, and then she will be discussing the basically what are the different foods that are sunnah to eat, that are good to eat for your gut, for your health, and so forth. And then we will also be having just a little treat for the ladies, which will be like a foot and calf massage, because every woman needs a bit of a bit of a break and a bit of pampering. And then we'll also be touching on the sunnah foods, like a light breakfast, which will be a certain sunnah foods that we'll be touching on, and also the medical benefits behind all of that.
That is very nice, mashallah. Now, Husna, for women that are considering participating in Sunnah Sports Bootcamp, what can they expect from the experience? And will there be a structured training program, in terms of nutritional guidance or perhaps even motivational talks?
Actually, Ameerah highlighted that quite aptly previously in the previous question, but I'll expound on it further. So essentially, yes, it's going to be a well-curated program and well-organized. So with the Scenics walk, before we start the walk, as you know, from a general perspective, you need to warm up, get the blood pumping, and getting that circulation going. So we're going to do a warm-up technique, and that's to prevent any injuries, and it's also to facilitate for every skill level, for each person to accommodate young and old, and to also accommodate pace. So we're going to be doing that in terms of a structured perspective. And from there, we'll be, as we imparting or embarking on this walk, we're going to experience the beautiful premises that we have, and we're going to curate this hike or walk or running, as Ameerah highlighted. So essentially, through the course of the path, we're going to be highlighting aspects about what we offer on our premises and the various facilities, as well as the path itself. And essentially, you are immersing yourself in your fitrah, in movement, in connecting with nature, and becoming aware of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in His mercy and in the beauty that He has fashioned for us around us in our environment. So that's what we're basically curating. We are disconnecting from our devices and from our hectic lifestyles, essentially, by doing this. As I highlighted earlier, you are promoting cardiovascular health, you are boosting endorphins, you actually even you're reducing insulin resistance with walking, which was a habit of our beloved Nabi. So that's what we're going to be integrating, implementing on that day. That's how our structure is, integrated to facilitate the health and medical benefits, the sunnah benefits, and just a day of relaxing and starting your Sunday morning on a light note. And then we will follow it by a breakfast, inshallah. And as Ameerah highlighted, it's going to be the sunnah foods that are going to be curated in specific sunnah foods. And our dietitian Nazneen Khan is going to speak about the medical benefits and also the medical and the sunnah benefits of eating and how one should eat, as I highlighted earlier, in terms of the medical benefits and curating that. And furthermore, the foot and calf massage is a form of relaxation. And throughout the day, we're just going to be interacting and imparting knowledge with each other with regard to those things. From a medical point of view, I will augment the segment as well with Sister Nazneen. And that's what we plan to do. And Sister Ameerah, from her background is an alima, and will be imparting knowledge to our sisters with regard to the sunnah aspects in this particular theme for this month. And then in the following months, inshallah, we will curate various themes. This is just a jump start, a launch for our Sunnah Bootcamp, inshallah. And we hope that everybody can join in. We don't want to give too much away because we'd like you to join in on the camp itself on Sunday, inshallah.
Inshallah. Jazakallah so much for joining us, Ameerah and Husna, and just for giving us more details in terms of the bootcamp and what to expect.
Jazakallah for having us.
Jazakallah so much. Viewers at home, that was Ameerah and Husna who were just telling us about the bootcamp that's going to be happening on the 29th of June between 9 and 12. The cost for the ticket is 350 per person, and we do hope that you will attend and, go and have the experience that they were talking about. But without wasting any time, let's go to a quick ad break. We'll see you right after this.